Welcome to Parenting with Vanessa Cologne. Here we are today. Our topic is it's not personal. What does that mean exactly? I don't know. Does your child tell you how much they hate you? They're the worst parent ever and they want to fire you as a parent? Or better yet, oh, let me talk to mom or let me talk to dad or let me talk to whoever else because you don't understand me. Well, you know what? That's just what kids do. It's not personal. It's just part of them, when they hear the word no, it's important to say no. I had one parent tell me, well, what should I not do? Don't tell my child no. Like, really? Like, how is that possible? It's important that kids hear the word no. And when we're talking about it's not personal, it really is not personal, right? You just need to understand that your job as a parent is to help, raise human beings in this world that are kind and nice and treat people well, right? How you treat your child and how they look at how you treat your partner or other people in the world, they're going to model that. So it's important that we understand as, educators and caregivers that we are here to help, build up children. And they're not always going to get what they want. They don't get ice cream in the middle of the night. They don't get to do Minecraft until like 10 o'clock at night when they have to be up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they're going to keep going and going and going. Heaven forbid you tell a child to get off Minecraft. Do you understand it takes like 5 minutes just to transition off Minecraft? You can't just like say no and it turns off. No, they got to figure out their world. They got to save this. Do you know how annoying that is? At least for me in my school, it's very annoying when the kids are like, no, but we need a couple extra more minutes. Well, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. But if you're going to keep having behaviors, it's your choice if you want Minecraft or not. I'm more than happy to give you Minecraft. But once again, teaching children to take responsibility for their behavior is key, right? It's your choice if you want that or not. So show me how you get off that when I tell you it's time to get off. If you're going to have a huge behavior over it, well, guess what? We're probably not going to have it tomorrow. So that's your choice. Once again, it is their choice on what they want to do. And as a parent is to be able to teach your child responsibility for their behavior. Are they going to act out all the time? Of course they're going to act out. That's what they do. They're kids. That's their job. But the question is, how are you going to react to when your child is acting out non-stop and you're just like, I'm going to pull my hair out. Take a break. It's totally okay for you to say, you know what? I'm done with this conversation right now. I need a couple more minutes to myself, or go to the bathroom, count to 10, come back out. You're modeling. Great way to self-regulate yourself before you explode. We don't want to explode, or at least we're going to try not to. The minute you go and explode on your child is that you feel horrible afterwards. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that feeling. And the child also feels bad when they've exploded on you and they're like, I hate you. But I also wanted to talk about when you're hearing these words, I hate you, you're the worst parent, and I don't want you so-and-so does more for their kids and they let them do whatever they want. Well, you know what? I would just say I hear you and I'm sorry I feel that way. But we're gonna move on from the situation and also teach them something else to say, right? When they're telling you I hate you, just say, I know you're mad. Why don't we try that? Just say, hey, let's rewind that with a smile on your face. I'm like, I'm mad because of X, Y, and Z. So we're teaching. Once again, we're not saying, no, you don't do that. Well, a lot of times when you tell a kid not to do something, they don't know what else to do at that moment, because when the kids are frustrated and they're in a heightened state of frantic and they're just not processing anything, when they are constantly coming at you like, I want this, and you could see them start to escalate, right? They're starting to get frustrated, their body's starting to tense up, they're not processing what you're saying at that moment. So it's really important to bring it down, even with your partner when you're getting a fight. Just take a break, just take a moment. Nobody wants to say things that they don't that they can't take back, because once you say them something, you can't take those words back. And that's really important to be able to model that with children as they're telling you like you're the worst parent ever and they wish that you didn't have them and they want somebody else. But once again, just saying, okay, you know what? Not giving them the power and be like, oh, that hurt my feelings and I can't believe you would say that, blah, 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 blah. They shouldn't have that kind of power over you. Right? And by doing that and saying that to them, they're realizing, oh, I could say that again. That's just going to piss mom off. So next time she pisses me off, I'm going to piss her off by doing this. Right? Versus saying, hey, I hear you. Okay, we can talk about it when you're calm. And there's another way to do this. Is there another way to talk to me? Right? Let's rewind it. And then model the language. So sometimes people say, use your words. And I'm just going, oh my gosh, I hate it when someone tells me to use your words. What words do you want me to use? I've already told you I don't like you. I'm already mad. Like, what else do you want? right? But what language do you want them to use with you? Teach them. Every time you say no, it's like, well, I don't know. Like a couple weeks ago, I was at a family's house and they said, show respect. Okay, the kid's 5. What the hell does respect mean? Like, I asked him, so this was about a 5-minute conversation, which by the way, 5 minutes to talk about respect is too long for a 5-year-old. And when I asked, I said, so what does that mean? Do you know what that means? And he goes, no, he doesn't know. A lot of times kids are going to pretend that they know something when they don't know something. So it's always important to take a check-in. Well, what does it mean to be nice? Well, you know what does nice mean exactly? Like, what are the expectations to be nice? And so these are the things you need to teach. Break it down. Don't expect your child to know what you're talking about, when half the time most adults know what we're talking about when we're talking to each other about feelings. Half of us are like, what did she just say? Especially if you're talking to me, you're gonna be like, did she just really say that? It's a lot for some people. But it's important to understand that you want to teach. You always want to teach. You're constantly doing it. When you're finding yourself in a battle with a 3 or 5 or a 7-year-old and it's like, I hate you. No, I don't. I hate you. Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know. And then you're just like, you have to listen to me. Why do they have to listen to you at that moment? No one's getting anywhere. And you're just arguing with your child. Take a break and come back when everyone's calm. That's the thing. You want to be able to teach, how to be able to self-regulate yourself, to control your temper at times, even though you do want to pull your kid's hair out at times, or your own hair out. Probably your own hair, actually, probably, most likely. I get it. I have a school for kids with, behavioral issues, and sometimes, and this dog behind me right here, oh my gosh, she's, 3 pounds, but she's the personality of, she's double my personality, and I have a big personality, to say it the least. But it's really important to meet the child where they are and to understand that if you're going to tell them no, why? Think about that. Are you just telling them no and you expect them to listen? Do they understand exactly why you're telling them no? It was eye-opening for me. I did an intervention and I was at a school and the kid kept playing with the placemat, and I'm about to stop playing with the placemat, and he just looked at me, he's like, well, why do we have a placemat? It's a good question, right? Well, you keep your placemat there, so this is where you know where your food is, because you don't want it to go on your other, you don't want to be sharing food with your friends. But things like that, when you think your child knows something, they don't always. And some kids have very strong verbal skills, so they're constantly talking. You're like, oh, they get it, they get it, they get it. And then in the end, you're like, they have very strong verbal skills and they just know what to say, but they're not understanding. They're not comprehending what they're saying. So it's really important to always check in and to make sure that, it isn't personal when they're telling you they hate you, because that's all the language they have at that moment. Teach them, I'm mad right now, and because why? Explaining their emotions is really important for the social emotional piece. And it should be starting super young, especially because, as adults, it's really important to be able in any relation to express yourself. And it's very hard for, everybody and anybody, because we can barely get a hold of our own emotions at times. And so imagine a young kid trying to express themselves when they don't get their needs met and they just want something, and especially if they just want what they want and they can't see past the 5 minutes of that, getting that ice cream, right? They can't see past what it is there. So when you're telling no to ice cream, they're having a huge fit. I mean, another way to look at it is saying no to the ice cream right there, but when do they get it, right? So when is the time that they can actually get the ice cream? And that might actually decrease the behavior, right? So it's always taking that step and going, and it's a lot of work, unfortunately it is a lot of work to be thinking like, do they understand this, and checking in. And if you find yourself having the same conversation and it's repeating over and over again, and it's like escalating nonstop, that's where it's time to just take a break and be like, what can I do differently here? Right? How can I change this? What does my child need in that moment to be able to for them to articulate what is going on with them, so they can actually start to express themselves versus hearing, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, right? Maybe you have to explain to your kid why they can't have ice cream at 9 o'clock at night versus, no, you can't have it, but why can't they have it? If they understand the why, then you're gonna be able to have less behaviors, more conversations going on, and more like your body's being able to be more regulated in the house, and it's not a constant battle. Right? I had one kid one time who had a fit every time of, leaving the school over his shoes. And finally it dawned on me, he doesn't know how to tie his shoes and he was too embarrassed to ask. So these are the things you have to take back. I mean, not every behavior is because the child's misbehaving. It might be because they're too scared to show you something. They're not sure that, maybe they don't want you to feel, to be like, oh, what is going on with my child? They don't know that, or they don't want to be ashamed, right? So look at the behavior and be like, okay, what is going on and why is that happening? How can I teach language? How can I teach them the skills that they need so they feel successful, so those behaviors don't keep occurring over and over and over again, where you do want to pull your hair out. But also remember, take a break. Go in the bathroom, count to 10. It's fine. Everybody needs to do that. And then once you do that, have a break area for your child. Do they know where to go for 10 seconds? Do they know where they can go, where they can self-regulate themselves, where they can able to calm down and come back and talk about things, right? So if you're just coming in and being short answered, no, you can't do this, and no, we're not doing this, and the child's coming back at you like, but why not? I don't want it, or keep going and going. Take a moment there and think, okay, how can I change the situation? What do I need to do? And it might be that, when you're calm, we'll talk. They already know everything. And you're like, I'm not going to sit here and debate with you, but when you're calm, we'll talk. And these are just the rules. And you can have it tomorrow at this time or another day, or just not. I don't know. It's up to you. But being a parent isn't easy. And especially when you have a strong-willed child who's just going to keep at you, and they know what they want, and they want it right there, and they don't understand, first off, waiting. Heaven forget it, a child understands like waiting past like 3 minutes, what they want right there. It's hard, but to be able to change your reaction as a parent and understand that it isn't personal, that they love you no matter what, and they're just gonna show you that their side of them that most people don't get to see, which is argumentative, combative, just that side that you're just like, oh my gosh, and then the teacher tells you, they're great. They don't argue, they transition well, and you're just like, is that my kid? That's not my kid at home. That's that love tap. They love you, they're showing you their true sides, and take it as a compliment. And come back for next week. Tune into Parenting with Vanessa Colon, SoundCloud. And yeah, any other questions, email you can do at Colon Family Services, KAHLON Family Services @gmail.com. Thanks. Bye.